Hello, my name is Kathy Puddifoot. I'm a lecturer here in the philosophy department at Durham. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the module structure and the modules that you can take here in Durham as a philosophy student, and then also a little bit about how the teaching hours are structured. So, um, as a single honours philosophy student, you'll be required to take 4 core modules in first year. These include knowledge and reality, which covers issues in epistemology and metaphysics. So it covers questions like what is knowledge, what is justification, can we know anything? In that case, what can we know? And of particular interest to me is the question of whether certain individuals, due to their social identity, are better placed to have knowledge about certain things or are unable to have knowledge due to their social positioning. So that's the epistemology, knowledge side of knowledge and reality. The module also covers issues in metaphysics, so issues relating to what exists in the world. So this covers things like what is the nature of time, can we have free will, what is the relationship between the mind and the body. So that's knowledge and reality, that's one of the core modules. Another one is ethics and values, which covers key issues in ethical theory and moral theory. So it will cover many of the traditional theories in ethics, like consequentialism and deontological approaches, but it will also cover issues that are less familiar, including to those who've studied A-level philosophy, issues like those that arise in Buddhist ethics. A third core module is reading philosophy, which attempts to dig deep into certain philosophical texts. So the idea would be that you have a really good understanding of individual texts like works of Hume or Murdoch or Sartre. So if you take that module and you really enjoy it, this might indicate to you that you enjoy this sort of close reading of philosophical texts, and it might then make you think that maybe you want to take more historical modules later on in your degree. The final core module is philosophical traditions, and this is sort of a skills-based module. So the idea is that you'll reflect in this module on various different methods of doing philosophy, so various different styles of philosophical writing that you could adopt, and learn a little bit of informal logic, so various different ideas of ways of engaging in critical thinking, which are really important within philosophy more broadly. So this module provides various skills that can be used across various different philosophical modules, and I think more broadly in life and in other modules that you'll take if you choose to take modules outside of philosophy. So beyond those 4 core modules, which are required for everyone on the single honours philosophy course, there are modules available in first year in philosophy, including science, medicine and society, which covers philosophical issues relating to the way science is conducted and scientific theories, philosophical issues relating to medicine, so including issues in biomedical ethics, but also things like a topic close to my heart, which is the role of stereotyping in medicine, and also issues relating to how society is structured, how we should understand society, and how we should understand specific issues that are found within society. And then the final module that's available within philosophy is European philosophy, which will introduce the ideas of various European philosophers, people like Hegel. Okay, so those are the modules that are available in philosophy in first year. As a single honours philosophy student, you can take all of those modules, or you can elect to take 2 modules from outside of philosophy to replace the non-core modules. If you're not doing single honours philosophy but doing a joint programme, then things are slightly different. So you won't be required to take all 4 of those core modules, but you will be required to take some of them. So, for example, if you're studying philosophy and politics, or philosophy with English literature, or philosophy with theology, then you'll be required to take the knowledge and reality, ethics and values, and reading philosophy modules. So these are the modules on epistemology and metaphysics, ethical and moral theories, and the one where you dig into the details of various texts. But if you're taking philosophy and psychology, the options are slightly different. So you'd be taking knowledge and reality and ethics and values, but also have the option of either taking science, medicine and society or European philosophy. So there are various different ways that your program might be structured if you're not taking single honours philosophy, but you will be required to take some of those core modules, and you can find all that information out on the website. So hopefully you'll find in that first year philosophy experience, taking those modules, that you'll have a good grounding in various different aspects of philosophy. And that's really useful because as you go forward, you will have a variety of different modules you can select from. So here are some examples of the type of modules that you might choose to take. You might choose to take moral theory, which will provide more details about theories of morality from within philosophy. You might choose to take something more historical, like the history of science and medicine, which is a real strength in the department. You might choose to take philosophy of religion or philosophy of mind, political and social philosophy, applied ethics, 20th century European philosophy, biomedical ethics, or something like history and philosophy of psychiatry. Those are just some of the sorts of modules that you can choose from when you enter your second and third years. They're not all available to both years, but you'll have a selection of a good variety of different topics that you can choose from in both of the years. There are particular strengths in the department in history of philosophy and philosophy of medicine and philosophy of science, philosophy of mind, and also we have quite a large provision of modules on things like ethics, because again, reflecting the strengths of the researchers in the department. We do like to provide modules that both provide a good coverage of philosophy but also are closely linked to the research interests of people in the department. So you might well be reading works of the philosophers in the department in the modules, because there's this close link between the research that's being conducted in the department and the teaching that's being provided. So in your second year, you'll also be able to take 6 modules. In the final year of your study, you will take fewer modules, but some of those modules will be replaced by a dissertation. So whether or not you take a shorter or a longer dissertation will depend in part upon your programme. So if you are, for example, studying philosophy and psychology, you might take a shorter dissertation to write a shorter length of dissertation, but also have a dissertation in psychology, whereas a single honours philosophy student, you're likely to take a larger dissertation which requires writing more words. But in both types of case, you'll get really close and good quality support from your supervisor. You'll be able to choose a topic that you want to work on, and this doesn't need to be like a conventional philosophical topic. It can be something less conventional. For example, I've supervised people working on issues around social media use, around AI and its future and the future dangers that it poses, amongst many other issues. So your dissertation can be chosen from a topic that's closely linked to what you've studied in your module, but can also come from a broader interest that you have, as long as it relates closely to philosophy and draws on philosophical ideas and argumentation. So that's the structure of the philosophy programme, and a little bit of information about other programmes that include some philosophy in them. You might want to hear something about the contact hours that you're going to have when you arrive in Durham, if this is what you choose. Well, how things are structured in first year is that generally things work in a lecture discussion group structure. So you'll have lectures which are weekly from someone who is expert in the field, your lecturer. In addition to this, you will have tutorials, which are small group discussion sessions. So these will involve reading set readings that will be set by the lecturer ordinarily, and discussing specific questions that are raised by the discussion group leader. these are really vital to developing as a philosopher, developing the skills of discussing and analysing ideas. And we really want students to take ownership at this point, to develop their own views and develop their ability to criticise philosophical views. We don't think that these views should be treated as beyond criticism or things to merely be studied. We really want people to engage with them. As you progress through and take modules in second and third year, there are a variety of different structures of modules. So some again take this form. You'll have a relatively large lecture with quite a few students and then smaller discussion group sessions. Other modules are run more based on seminars. So rather than having a big lecture, you might have a seminar group which has say 20 students, and in that seminar group you would have both a presentation of the ideas that are going to be discussed and the discussion. So that would be a longer session, longer than a lecture, longer than a discussion group, but kind of a combination of what you would get in each of those. There's often an opportunity for students to present in those sessions, so they could be a bit more student-led, but there will always be a staff member in a seminar there to guide discussion and make sure that there's all the ideas are properly understood by the students. So on top of those, the lectures, the discussion groups and the seminars, there are also office hours. Each staff member will have 3 hours of office hours. Those office hours are dedicated time for students to come along, to ask questions, to raise issues, and they're really important resources. We really encourage students to make use of them. Not only can they really help a student progress, so for example, they might be used by a student who wants to discuss the structuring of an essay and to get sort of one-to-one feedback on how to structure an essay. Well, that can be really vital, really help the student. But on top of this, office hours are really enjoyable for staff members, so it can be really good to have a in-depth conversation with students about their work or ideas that relate to their work. So we encourage the use of office hours both for students' sake and for our own. If you have any questions about any of this, please don't hesitate to get in touch. Again, my name is Catherine Puddifoot. My email address is catherine.h.puddifoot@durham.ac.uk, but you can find all the information online as well.